Hello, in this video we're looking at issue 60 of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine, finishing off our Space Marine Outriders, having a look at the collection as a whole up to this point, and fighting the final battle for Alectia. Hello, I'm Mike, and this is Will. We are the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
We're bringing you issue 60 of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine today. And with this issue, we've got the second of the two sprues, so we can finally build our Space Marine bikes. So if you'd like to see them in action, you can skip ahead to today's game by using the timecode in the description or the chapter part. And we'll also have another timecode there for a collection overview for the 60 issues thus far, so you can look at that as well if you'd like to. But as always, we'll have a look through the issue contents. First up, we have some background on the Grey Knights, a chapter of Space Marines like no other, specifically equipped and trained to fight demons. They're all psychers. It notes their equipment is blessed to be resistant to the attacks from demons, but their greatest weapon of a Grey Knight is his mind. And they're actually formed in the dying days of the Horus Heresy as well, by Malcador the Sigillite, the Emperor's closest confidant. On the next page, you can see some of their weapons they use. Again, it's specifically designed to fight against psychic entities, so that does include psychers as well as demons. And then their chapter monastery is on Titan, the moon of Saturn. And then background on the Space Marines Armory, where all of their equipment is held in their chapter monasteries. Where Tech Marines, which are Space Marines who are particularly attuned to machine spirits and have been specifically trained by the Adeptus Mechanicus, are tasked with maintaining and repairing any damaged equipment. They often make use of servo skulls, which are useful for diagnostic tasks, but can also be equipped with targeters, and often have servo arms for heavier equipment. And they're usually accompanied by servitors, and if the servitors are on the battlefield, they're often equipped with heavy weapons, like heavy bolters and power claws, as you can see in that picture there. And we have the painting guide for the Outriders, so starting off with the blue armour, silver for the mechanical parts, so you can see going over leather bits as well, pick them out carefully. Everything's fairly simple, but there are some neat details coming up. Using Reikland Flesh Shade and Cryptic Armor Shade Gloss to make a nice sort of heat burn effect on the exhaust, as you can see in the bottom right corner. And also we have a little tactical display between the handlebars. Also note, do keep the bike separate from the base. Makes it much easier to get the texture paint underneath, and you can paint the underside of the bike as well while you're at it. And so you can see them there. So that's the issue contents over. Before I hand you over to Will, we'll have a look at the collection thus far. So here you can see the complete collection up to this point at the end of issue 60. We'll look at the Imperial collection first. On the left you can see the Adeptus Mechanicus, same collection. We haven't had any new models trying to it, but we have the two tech priests in front, the engines here on the left and then the Dominus on the right. The Skitaria Rangers behind them, and then the Cataphon Destroyers. And then we have the Adepta Sororitas collection, which is most of the new Imperial models we've had in the last 20 issues. So in the front we have the Repentia Superior and then the Canoness. Behind them are the Sisters Repentia and the three Archoflagellants. Behind them is the Battle Sister Squad, and behind them is the unit of 5 Seraphim and the Penitent Engine. And then the Space Marines. So in the front we have the three Space Marine characters, the Phobos Librarian, the Lieutenant and the Captain. Behind them are the three easy to build Assault Intercessors, and then the three Aggressors. Behind them are the two units of 5 Assault Intercessors. And then behind them you can see our new Space Marine Outriders. So in total that adds up to 62 Imperial models, 15 Mechanicus, 25 Adepta Sororitas and 22 Space Marines. And then the Necron collection is totals up to 58 models. So we have the 6 characters in front. From left to right we have the Overlord, the Royal Warden, the Scorpec Lord, the Technomancer, the Chronomancer and the Plasmancer. The next rank behind them are the Scorpec Destroyers with their Plasma Sight, the 5 Immortals, a unit of 10 Necron Warriors and 2 Crypto Thralls. Then the next rank is 2 Tomb Blades, 5 Flayed Ones, the other unit of 10 Necron Warriors, and then the 3 easy to build Necron Warriors. And finally in the back row we have the Canoptek Reanimator, the Trarch Stalker, 2 Canoptek Wraiths, 2 units of 3 Scarabs and the Canoptek Spider. And finally the terrain. So we have the cargo containers and all the barrels and crates on the left. And then there's a set of ruins with one set of pipes in front, the Hemotrope reactor, and then the other set of ruins and the other set of pipes. And not pictured, we're up to 27 paints, and we have the starter brush, the medium dry brush, the texture tool, and a small layer brush. We have had a new battle map, but we haven't seen it yet. But you can see all the other ones we've been using up to this far, including the little tiny tutorial one in the middle. But that's it for the collection overview. I'll hand you over to Will so we can get into our game.
So we'll get to the final battle for Alectia shortly, but first we finally have some faction rules for the Space Marines. Angels of Death Part 1, it does say we'll receive in Part 2 the Combat Doctrines rule, so stay tuned for that next issue. But first of all, we have these 3 rules that fall under the heading of Angels of Death, which all Space Marine units get if your army is Battleforged, but remember with these missions we always count as being Battleforged. So the first part is and they shall know no fear, which simply means that they ignore all modifiers to combat attrition tests, so they only ever run away on a roll of 1 on a failed morale test. Bolt of Discipline allows them a bit more flexibility with rapid-fire bolt weapons. Rather than just the normal rule of making 2 shots when they're within half range, they make the 2 shots if any of the following apply. Either they're within half range as normal, or if it's an infantry unit that remained stationary in the previous movement phase, or if it's a Terminator or Biker keyword unit. And finally, Shock Assault. If the Space Marine unit was charged or performed a heroic intervention, it gets +1 attack. And as usual, a quick tutorial, and they shall know no fear. These assault intercessors have failed their morale test, but they only run away on 1s, where normally they get a penalty, making it 2s because they're below half strength. And some pictures here explaining Bolt of Discipline, including with a unit of infiltrators, which we don't have yet, but we will be getting soon, and they do come with rapid-fire weapons. And also the Bikers there, which will always get to make double number of shots with their rapid-fire weapons, such as our new Outriders. And here is the datasheet for the Outrider squad. So you'll note they cost 6 power and they're a fast attack choice. There are 2 Outriders and the Sergeant. They have a 14-inch move, the usual Space Marine profile, except that they have toughness 5 and 4 wounds, because they're a bit beefier than just a Marine on foot. They have a heavy bolt pistol and Astartes chainsword like an assault intercessor, but the bike is mounted with a twin bolt rifle, which is a 30-inch range rapid-fire 2 weapon, with strength 4 and AP -1, and as we've just seen, they'll always be shooting 4 times up to maximum range with that because they're a biker unit. They get the Devastating Charge special rule, which means they get an additional 2 attacks if they charge themselves, and Turbo Boost, which means when they advance, they automatically count as rolling a 6 effectively, so they can move 20 inches when they advance automatically. And they are a core unit as well, it's worth pointing out. So here with Devastating Charge, there's a table that shows you just how many attacks they get if they make a charge move. Thanks to their Chainsword, Shock Assault and Devastating Charge, there'll be 6 attacks and 7 on the Sergeant. And Turbo Boost here, just showing that they can move that far automatically if they advance. And now the background for our game. The Necrons have finally broken through the Imperial defences and are now storming the Basilica of St Marcius itself. And the remaining Imperial defenders resolve to sell their lives dearly, because if they lose it, it'll surely break the morale of the remaining Imperial defenders elsewhere on the planet and ensure total Necron victory. So the Overlord himself is leading the Necron attack, a very simple objective to destroy the relics inside the Basilica, but the remaining Battle Sisters, led by their Canoness, are trying to defend them at all costs, until their reinforcements arrive. And here is the last of our initiate missions actually, Sacred Relics. For our forces, we'll be selecting armies of 50 power each, using the rules we got in the previous issue. The Necron army must include the Overlord and 2 troops choices, and then anything else they want. And the Imperial army must include the Canoness, 10 Battle Sisters, 5 Seraphim, and at least 1 other troops choice. For our battlefield, we're actually using all 4 of our battle mats, including the one we got in issue 58 on the reverse side, so that they all line up like this, and as you'll see in a moment, they do actually all form a complete battlefield when this way up, so it's quite neat. The central objective area, as marked there, is a 12-inch square in the centre, which is the focus of this mission. There are also Imperial deployment zones and Necron deployment zones, forming 12-inch squares on from each corner. As it says here, we should use some of the ruined manufacturer and terrain features to mark out the central objective area, and the whole thing counts as an area terrain feature. The Canoness and the Battle Sisters must deploy within that objective terrain feature, and then the rest of the Imperial units, as close to half as possible, must be in each of their 2 deployment zones, whereas the Necrons simply deploy as close as half as possible of their army in each of their 2 deployment zones. Units that are wholly within the objective terrain feature gain the benefits of dense cover, which is a rule we haven't seen before, but it means they're at -1 to hit with shooting. And finally, there's one objective. It's an endgame objective called Capture the Reliquary. It simply means that the battle lasts for 5 battle rounds, and at the end of the battle, whoever has the most models wholly within the objective terrain feature is victorious. So we will show you the armies we've picked, and then get the board set up, and then get straight into the game. So first up, let's look at the 50 power of Imperial Defenders.
Yeah, so I've gone for a mixed Space Marine and Battle Sister army. So starting with the Battle Sisters, I have the Canoness, the 10 Battle Sisters and the Seraphim, who I have to take, and also brought along the Oncoflagellant and the Penitent Engine. And then for the Space Marines, I've got the Captain, the Lieutenant, 2 units of 5 Assault Intercessors, a unit of Aggressors, and our new Outriders at the back. And I'm actually going to make the Space Marine Captain my Warlord rather than the Canoness. He's a bit more durable.
Here is 50 power of Necrons, which is actually most of the Necron collection. So we've got 3 characters at the front. The Overlord I have to take, accompanied by the Technomancer and the Royal Warden. Had to take 2 troops units, so I've actually gone for 3. We've got both units of Necron Warriors and the unit of Immortals. And then at the back, from left to right, unit of 3 Scorpic Destroyers, the Triarch Stalker, 2 units of 3 Scarab Swarms, and the Calptic Reanimator, which, as we mentioned last issue, we will be using 4 power rather than 6 as in the magazine for the Reanimator, because it was changed very soon after the Necron book was released. It was clearly just a mistake. 6 power is far too much for that thing. And the Overlord will be my Warlord. Here you can see our enormous battlefield. I can just about get it on shot with all 4 boards. You can see how they all nicely join up in the pattern. And we've obviously deployed all terrain, with in the centre there the objective zone, and also our armies in the corners. So here is the central objective zone. We'll put the ruins around it, as you can see, and we've also actually used an objective marker from Conquest magazine to represent the relics right in the centre there, although it doesn't have any effect on the game. We'll just move it if it gets in the way. But here we've got the Battle Sisters squad, and the Canoness is under there.
Yeah, I couldn't quite fit all the Battle Sisters on the roof, so 2 of them had to go down the bottom.
So looking at the Imperial deployment zone in the top right.
And so I've got the Penitent Engine, the Archoflagellants, the Aggressors and the Lieutenant.
And then over in the far top left corner.
Yeah, I've got the 2 units of 5 Assault Intercessors, the Primaris Captain and the Outriders, and I've also got the Seraphim there, who are deployed for their Sky Strike.
And then looking at the Necron deployment, in the bottom left corner is the Triarch Stalker, obscuring the Immortals, who are just in front of it, a unit of Warriors with Gauss Flayers, the Technomancer is over here, and a unit of Calptic Scarabs. And in the right corner, a unit of Scorpic Destroyers, a unit of Warriors with Gauss Reapers, the Overlord, the Royal Warden, another unit of Scarabs, and the Calptic Reanimator. And then we're just rolling off to see who gets to go first. 2 for the Necrons.
6 for the Imperium. I think I shall choose to go first.
So we're on to Imperium, turn 1.
I gain a Miracle Dice at the start of the turn.
Which is a 3. Then my command protocol will be Protocol of the Sudden Storm, with a +1 movement.
Well, in the movement phase, most of my army is advancing, so all the Assault Intercessors and the Captain moving along behind that cargo container to get some cover. The Outriders have moved across normally, and they can all see a Necron Warrior, and I'll definitely be in range because they've got quite a long range. And over here again, everyone advanced. The Aggressors are a bit slow, they didn't roll good for their advance. And in the middle, well, the Canoness will use a command rod on herself. Probably just do that every turn, so I won't say it every time. Sisters are going to stay where they are, and I'm going to spend 2 command points to use Defenders of the Faith, so they can only be wounded on a 4 or better, and they get double number of shots with their bolt weapons, which will be useful at long range.
Yeah, and we are treating the objective zone as being within range on objective markers, so while they're in it, they can use that stratagem. It's not exactly what the rule says, but it makes sense, so we're going to do that.
And then I'll start the shooting phase with the Battle Sisters, and they're going to shoot at the unit of Necron Warriors.
And that's the bottom left ones.
So we've got 20 shots. Storm Bolt is extra damage, doesn't matter. And these hit on 3s, rolling 1s. So that's 4 misses straight away, 4 1s to reroll. 14 hits, these wounded on 4s. 6s are AP -1.
Because it's Divine Guidance.
Yeah. 5 regular wounds and 3 with AP -1.
3 AP -1 are 5s. 8 2, so 1 dead so far, and then 5 4 pluses. Which I failed 4, so 5 dead in total. Reanimations on 5s, rerolling 1s. 3 come back. So 5 died, but 3 come back in front of the unit like this.
Then the Outriders are going to shoot at the same squad, so because of Bolter Discipline, they can shoot maximum number of times every time. 12 shots hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. Okay, so that's 10 hits, wounding on 4s. 6 wounds at AP -1.
Needing 5s. Getting 1, so another 5 dead. 5 more reanimations. 1 success, but 2 1s to reroll. You get 2 back. And so advancing forward a little bit further, although staying staying within 6 inches of the Technomancer. But there's no more shooting, and the Warriors did lose 5, so they do actually have to take a morale test. Which they will fail on 6. No, they're fine. But that's it for Imperium turn 1, because there's nothing else in range to shoot. On to Necrons turn 1. In my command phase, the Technomancer can try and bring back D3 of those Warriors. D3, 2. Then on that side, the Warriors, newly reanimated, have moved up. They're actually nearly at the objective zone now. The Immortals are following along with the Technomancer and the Triarch Stalker. And the Scarabs units, you can see in the top left, have just jumped into that building over there to sort of flank the Imperial forces a bit. And on the other side, all of these units you can see advance. Destroyers getting the closest to the objective zone. In the command phase, the Overlord used My Will Be Done on the Warriors, and also the Scarab reanimation beam is on them from the Reanimator. The Royal Warden did not advance, so he can shoot, and the Scarabs moved over to that pipe, again to flank on the other side. So we're on to the shooting phase. I'm going to start with the Triarch Stalker, shooting at the Battle Sisters. All the extra damage will be wasted on its guns, but it will give everything else reroll ones to hit against them. So it has 6 shots, hitting on 4s because they are in the objective zone, and so they get dense cover. There's still 4 hits, wounding on 4s because they've got Defense of the Faith, so that does matter. We've got 2 wounds at 80-3.
5+ armour. Made 1 battle sister dies.
Next, the warriors in the middle will shoot at the battle sisters. 4 are within 12 inches, so 11 shots hitting on 4s, but rerolling 1s because the Triarch Stalker has now shot at them. Rerolls. 7 hits winning on 4s because of Defenders of the Faith. Well, 6.
6, 3+ saves. Made them.
Immortals will shoot them, although none of them are within 15. So 5 shots hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. Well, they will hit anyway. Winning on 4s. 3.
3 4+. Made 1, failed 2.
Technomancer is also in range. 3 shots on 4s, rerolling 1s. 1 hit wounds on a 4. That's another one.
Another 4+. Nope.
And finally the Royal Warden shooting from over there behind his box. 2 shots on 4s, rerolling 1s. 1 hit wounds on a 4. That's another one.
4+ again. Nope.
That's all of my shooting. There are no charges to declare, so the morale phase, the battle sisters will have to take a morale test.
Yeah, I'm just going to use my miracle dice, so I'll get a 3, and then leadership 8, so they're fine.
And then we're on to Imperium turn 2. New protocol is Protocol of the Vengeful Stars. I'll pick the directive that means that units in cover don't get the benefits of cover to their saving throw, so it'll help against shooting anything that's in the objective area.
Miracle dice is a 4. So, on the left-hand side, the Outriders and the Assault Intercessors and the Captain of all moved up normally. The Battle Sisters have rearranged themselves a bit, so the Canoness can get up on the roof and they can all get within rapid-fire range of those Necron warriors. And then on the right side, everyone advanced. Aggressors still lagging behind. And I'm going to spend 2 command points to use the Battle Sister stratagem again, because wounding them on 4s is quite handy. I'll start with the Canoness. She's just in range of those warriors, so she'll fire a plasma pistol at one, not supercharging. Hitting on 2s, rolling 1s. She hits, wounds on a 3. No. Do the Outriders next. They're going to fire at the Immortals. 12 shots on 3s, rolling 1s. 10 hits, wounding on 5s. Getting 3.
3 4+ saves. Made 1. I think it was worth a command point. So we're getting 3 command points to re-roll 1. Yes, success, so 1 dead. That's all they're shooting, so reanimate it. It does not.
I'll do the Battle Sisters next. All the ones with bolt guns are going to shoot at the Immortals. The Flamer is only in range of the Warriors. 10 shots at the Immortals on 3s, rolling 1s. 7 hits, wounding on 5s, 6s rapier on 1. So there's only 2 regular wounds.
So 2 3+ saves, made both.
And then the Flamer is D6 automatic hits for 3, wounding on 3s, getting 2 wounds.
So 5 for Divine Guidance, no, and a 4 for the other one, yes. So 1 dead. Does it come back? Rerolling 1s. It does. So I'll bring one back there just to shield the Immortals a bit better.
I'll do this squad of Assault Intercessors next. They're all going to shoot at the Immortals as well. 5 heavy bolt pistols on 3s, rolling 1s. And they will hit. Wounding on 5s, getting a single wound.
And a 4. Nope, 1 dead. Reanimation. Nope.
And the other Assault Intercessor squad aren't in range of anything, so the 4 with bolt pistols are going to fire the Warriors. 3s rolling 1s rather, so they all hit. And 4s, getting 2.
2 5+. Made 1, failed 1. Does it come back? No.
In the charge phase, the Outriders are going to charge that unit of Warriors.
I think I will spend a command point to Overwatch. 12 shots hitting on 6s. Oh, I got 1. Outriders toughness 5, so a 5. No.
Their charge roll is an 11. That's definitely going to be enough. So the Outriders are going to make their charge like that. 19 attacks for the Outriders, hitting on 3s. 15 hits, wounding on 4s.
9 wounds with an AP -1, so 5s. Made a few. Yeah, we've only lost 4, so that's not actually enough to wipe them out. Reanimation for the 4 destroyed ones. No successes, but a 1, so 1 comes back. And it'll reanimate there just to stop the Outriders piling in any further and tying up my shooting. And those Warriors get 3 attacks back on 3s. Well, they all missed. But they don't need to take a morale test because they've only lost 4 this turn and they're leadership 10, obviously. So that'll be it for Imperium turn 2, on to Necrons turn 2. Technomancer will try and bring back those Warriors in the command phase. He brings back 1. Then those Warriors are going to fall back. The Triarch Stalker has moved up to face those bikes and the Immortals are hiding behind it, and the Technomancer has moved over the box. The Scarabs on the left flank advanced and they've gone over there to hopefully just be a nuisance, really. The Necron Warriors with Reapers advanced, getting a decent roll, gets them to there. The Destroyers are behind them, don't want to move them too far forward yet because they get charged by the Penitent Engine or something. The Overlord's just following them, as is the Reanimator, which used its reanimation on those Warriors, and also will be done as on them as well. And the Royal Warden moved around the box, getting himself to there. And finally, the other scarabs are doing a similar thing and hiding in a building on this flank. Also, slight adjustment, I'm actually just going to move the reanimator slightly further forward so that the Royal Warden is protected by Lookout Sir. On to shooting. The Triarch Stalker will start by shooting the Outriders.
I'm going to spend a command point for transhuman physiology on the Outriders.
So it'll be only wounding them on 4s. So 6 shots hitting on 3s. 5 hits, wounding on 4s because of transhuman. Well, there's a 3, so that does make a difference. It's a nice 3.
6s.
3 wounds, d3 damage each. So the first one does 1, second one does 1, third one does 2. So it does kill a whole bike eventually. I'll do the Immortals next, and I'll actually combine their attacks with the Technomancer because it's all the same strength, AP, hit rolls, everything, and the Immortals don't have enough shots to kill the whole unit. So 9 shots between them, all hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of the Triarch Stalker. So they all hit. Wounding on 4s anyway because of toughness 5. 6 wounds.
6 5+ saves. Made 2, so Sarge's left alive with 4 wounds.
The Necron warriors with Gauss Reapers will shoot at the Battle Sisters because some of them are in range of them, but only them. 12 shots, hitting on 4s because they advanced, so -1 to hit, then they got mine will be done for +1 to hit, and then -1 for dense cover again, and they're not within half range. Only 4 hits, wounding on 4s because they've got the stratagem on. 3 wounds.
4+ saves. Made 2, 1 dies.
Just got the Royal Warden left, he's going to shoot at the Penitent Engine. 2 shots on 3s, it's not wholly within the terrain features, it doesn't get benefit of cover, so they both hit, they wound on not 2s. That's all the shooting. In the charge phase, the Triarch Stalker will charge the Outrider Sergeant. Doesn't need to roll it, just get within an inch like that. There's the only charge, so 3 attacks from the Triarch Stalker which hit on 3s. 2 hits. It's strength 7, so it wounds on 3s. It wounds twice, so it can -2, 3 damage.
5+ armour. Made 1, Sarge is alive on 1 wound.
But that's the end of my turn. No morale tests are necessary. So we'll be on to Imperium, turn 3. Command protocol will be Protocol of the Eternal Guardian. I'll pick the directive which gives me cover if I haven't moved yet in this battle round, which obviously none of my units have because this battle round's only just started.
4.
Yeah, 4 from Miracle Dice.
On the left, the Outrider Sergeant is falling back, Assault Intercessors and the Captain moving up. Battle Sisters are coming down with the Canoness from the building. The Lieutenant and the Aggressors have advanced into the middle. Penitent Engine has moved up normally, hopefully do some charging. And the Seraphim have come down at the end of the movement phase, been inside the structure in amongst all their friends, and then hidden behind the structure are the 3 Archoflagellants. First up in the shooting phase, these 4 Battle Sisters are going to shoot those 4 warriors.
The other ones in front of the Technomancer down here.
Do all the bolt weapons together, 8 shots on 3s rolling 1s. 7 hits, wounding on 4, 6s rating -1. So 1 regular wound and 2 AP -1.
Thanks to Eternal Guardian, the AP -1s will be 4s because I get benefits of cover. So 1 dead so far and then a 3 for the other one. 1 dead, 1 dead so far.
And then the Flamer, d6 shots for 2 3s. 1 wound.
Cover again, so 3. Yes. 1 dead. Does it come back? Yes, it does.
I'll do the Aggressors. They're going to fire all their Flamers into the larger unit of warriors. 6d6 automatic hits. 20 hits, wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s because of the Lieutenant. 15 wounds.
15, 3+ saves. Eternal Guardian. Losing 3. Reanimating on 4s, rerolling 1s because of the reanimation beam. Still only 1.
Do the Heavy Flamer from the Penitent Engine. It's going to go into the Destroyers. 2d6 automatic hits. 4. Wounding on 3s, strength 6. They all wound. No extra AP for them because it's not a Sisters unit.
So 3+ saves because of Eternal Guardian. Oh, maybe.
Do the Seraphim next. They're going to shoot at that unit of warriors, the larger unit. We're going to supercharge the Plasma, which will be the black dice. So these hit on 3s, rolling 1s. So 6 bolt pistol hits, the Plasma hit. So Plasma wounds on 3s, bolt wounds on 4s. Well, Plasma wounded at least.
And it will be a 6 to save because of cover, which I failed, so 1 dies. Does it come back? No.
Do this squad of Assault Intercessors next, because the Sergeant is just about in range of the smaller unit of warriors, so they'll shoot at them. Black dice is the Plasma, and these all hit on 3s, rolling 1s. Not supercharging the Plasma. Black dice wounds on a 3, other on a 4. They both wound.
Plasma on a 6, nope. And bolt pistol on a 4. Yes. Does the dead one come back? Rerolling 1s. No.
The other unit of Assault Intercessors, I'm going to put their bolt pistol shots into the Immortals. 5 shots hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. 4 hits. Wounding on 5s, re-rolling 1s. Well, they all wound.
3s. Failed 1. Does it reanimate? No.
Finally, we've got the captain who's going to shoot at the small unit of warriors as well. Not supercharging, hits on a...
Yeah, he hit.
Yeah, that's a hit. Wounds on a 3. It does.
6 to save. Nope. Reanimation. Nope.
The front unit of Assault Intercessors is going to charge those 2 warriors and the Technomancer. So their roll is a 7. I will have to re-roll that. An 8. Yeah, got to be a little bit greedy, and 8's not quite enough. No more charges, and I'm going to leave the Penitent Engine where it is.
Okay, and no morale tests, so we're on to Necron's turn 3. The Technomancer is going to try and bring back the unit of warriors with the Gauss Reapers, because he's now close enough to do that. So D3, 1. And then my will be done, will go on them, and the reanimation beam is going to go on the Destroyers this time. So over here, the 2 Immortals have climbed up on top of the box, so that they can see stuff. The Trarch Stalker has moved around the box. The 2 remaining Necron Warriors from the smaller squad have moved behind the larger squad, which has moved into the middle like that. The Technomancer flew over here to join the Overlord on this side, and the Royal Warden has also moved across. The Destroyers, well, 2 of them anyway, are into the ruin like that, and the other one's on the far side of the wall with the Chaotic Reanimator. 1 unit of Scarabs has flown out from behind its cover over here, and finally so has the other one on the other side. So on to shooting, we'll start with the unit of warriors with the Gauss Reapers shooting at the Penitent Engine. 16 shots hitting on 3s because my will be done cancels out the dense cover. There's 11 hits, wounding on 4s. 4 wounds.
6 plus armour. Nope. 5 plus shrug. Shrug none of them, it's down to 1 wound.
Technomancer will see if he can finish it off. 3 shots on 4s because of dense cover, so he hit twice. And wounds on 4s. He does not. The 2 warriors in the Gauss Flayer unit will also shoot at it, so hitting on 4s. 2 hits winning on 5s. Nope. Mortals are within 15, so they'll try and get rid of it. 4 more shots on 4s. Only 1 hit, winning on a 4. That's another one.
6 plus armour. No. 1 plus shrug. No.
It goes down. The Royal Warden will shoot at the unit of Assault Intercessors that's at the front. 4 shots on 3s because they're not against the cover. Still only 2 hits, which wound on 3s. He gets 2 wounds. There's a stack of boxes between them and the Royal Warden, so I guess they'll get covered from them, or some of them will.
I think 2 of them are in the ring. 2 normal guys are, so 4s. Well, maybe both anyway.
Trarch Stalker will shoot at them as well. I should have shot that first, but I wasn't sure what it was going to shoot at the start of the turn, so 6 shots on 3s. 5 hits winning on 3s as well. 4 wounds.
6s. None at all.
D3 damage, so 1 at a time. So it kills 1, kills 1, kills 1, and does a 1 wound. Which I will re-roll with a command point. So 2. Oh, no, it's turning 1. Lastly, I've got the Reanimator, which will shoot at the Seraphim. 6 shots, but only hitting on 5s, because 4's normally and dense cover. Oh well, it doesn't matter, it got 4 hits. Wounding on 2s, strength 6, 3 wounds.
I use a miracle dice to succeed 1, and these are 4 pluses. Down 2.
So we're on to the charge phase, and the Scorpic Destroyers are going to charge the aggressors.
Yeah, set to defend.
Charge. These are 4, which I think is enough. Yeah, that was enough. That gets them to there. Unit of Scarabs at the back here is going to charge the Arcoflagellants. Needing an 8. No, 7 is not enough. I will re-roll that, because otherwise those Arcoflagellants could cause a lot of mayhem. No, another 7, so it's a fail. Finally, the other Scarabs will charge both the Battle Sisters and the Canoness. And they roll a 10, which is enough. But only one's going to come into the building, getting within an inch of both of those, but not within 3 inches of the captain, so he can't directly intervene. With the other 2 actually at the back of the building, they'll pile in through the wall in a second. The big sword has 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. They all hit. They wound on 3s. 2 wounds, so that killed 2 aggressors, because it's AP minus 4, 3 damage each. And then 8 attacks from the others. 7 hits, wounding on 4s. 7 wounds. Minus 3.
Yeah, he's super dead.
So the aggressors are taken out and will consolidate into the Seraphim, and then I've got the Scarabs to fight as well. So the other 2 will pile in through the wall, but then all the attacks will go on the Battle Sisters, except for the one on the far right who will attack the Canoness. So 8 attacks on the Battle Sisters, sitting on 4s, 6 is auto wound, and just 2 hits, which wound on 4s. Nothing. And 4 attacks on the Canoness. We've got 1 hit again, which wounds on a 4. There, that's a wound.
3 plus armour. Yep. So I'll do the Seraphim. They're all going to put their attacks on the Destroyers. So we've got 3 attacks from a Power Sword and then 4 attacks from Bolt Pistols. So these all hit on 3s, rerolling 1s. 2 Power Sword hits and 4 regular hits, but these all wound on 5s. A single Power Sword hit.
So a 6 to save. Oh, yes.
4 attacks on 2s, you're rolling 1s.
From the canoness, this is?
Yep, they all hit. 3s. 2 wounds, 2 damage. And 6 attacks from the Battle Sisters. We are setting to defend, so we're hitting on 3s, you're rolling 1s. Roll those 2 1s. Hitting 5 hits. Wounding on 4s. 3.
3 6+ saves. Made none of them, so that base is destroyed and another one takes a wound. Does the destroyed base come back? Nearly. Not. But that's the end of the fighting. There won't be any morale tests necessary. Assault Intercessors lost 3, but they are within 6 inches of the Warlord, so they're each at 9 effectively. So we'll be on to Imperium, turn 4. New command protocol will be Protocol of the Hungry Void, and we'll do the +1 strength for everything that charged, was charged, or performed heroic intervention this turn, because I think there'll be a lot of that happening.
Miracle Dice is a 3. So my movement phase, the Seraphim have fallen back, Arcoflagellants have come round to fight the Destroyers, Lieutenant's moving to face off against them as well, as is the Captain, while the Marines are moving towards that big blob of Necron warriors, and the remaining Outriders are going to try and get involved as well. In the shooting phase, the Bastards have bolt pistols, so they'll shoot at the Scarabs. 4 shots on 3s, you're rolling 1s, getting 2, wounding on 3s, 2 wounds.
It's actually only 1 hit because the Scarabs are in dense cover, even though they're standing right in front of the Battle Sisters, which is a bit weird, but that's how it works. So a 5 to save because they're in cover as well, aren't they? No, I was right the first time, it was 2 hits. Dense cover doesn't apply if you're not obscured by the dense cover. So another save, which I failed.
Plasma pistol on the Canoness, not supercharging. Hits. Wounds on it 3. It does wound.
No save from that. So the Scarab base is actually destroyed by the Canoness. Does it come back? No.
Do the Outrider Sergeant next. He's going to shoot at the 2 warriors remaining in the Gauss Flare unit.
Okay.
4 shots hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Rerolling 1s. Right, they all hit. Wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s. 3 wounds.
3 5+ saves. Which he kills them.
We'll do the 2-man Intercessor squad. One of them will throw a crack grenade at the Destroyers, while the other one will fire his heavy bolt pistol at the Warriors. Crack grenade on the Destroyer on 3s, rolling 1s. Hits. 3s to wound, rolling 1s. Wounds.
3+ save because they're in area terrain. Yep.
Warriors. Hits. 4s. Wounds.
5+. Yep.
Captain's going to fire. You're going to throw a crack grenade at the Destroyers as well. Hits. 3s. Does not wound. Lieutenant's going to fire his Volkite pistol at them as well. 2s. 2 hits. 4s. 1 wound.
2+ save, light cover. Yep.
Full unit of Assault Intercessors is going to shoot at the Necron Warriors. One guy will throw a frag grenade, so I'll do that first. So D6 shots, minimum 3. So 3 on 3s, rolling 1s. 2 hits. 5s. 2 wounds.
4s. Kills 1.
3 bolt pistols and a plasma on 3s, rolling 1s, not supercharging. Well, they all hit. 4s and 3s. 2 bolt pistol wounds and a plasma wound.
Plasma kills 1 instantly, and the bolt pistols are 5s. That's 3 dead. Reanimation. 3 2s, so all dead.
So there's a lot of charging. The Canoness is going back into the Scarabs. Arcoflagellants, Lieutenant, Captain, Assault Intercessors and Outrider Sergeant are all going into the Destroyers.
Yeah, they all needed such minimal rolls that we just did it all without showing any of it.
Yeah.
They're all set to defend.
And then the other unit of Assault Intercessors we will show because they're going into the Necron Warriors. Charge roll, an 8 is going to be enough. So those Assault Intercessors go in like that. We'll do the Arcoflagellants first. So we've got 8 attacks from the 2 normal ones. On 4s, you're rolling everything. Getting 5 hits. Wounding on 5s because they're a bit weedier. 4 wounds. AP -1.
4s. So that's a Destroyer dead already.
And then the Endurant has 6 attacks. On 4s, you're rolling everything. 6 hits. Wounding on 4s because it's strength 5. Only gets 2 wounds.
2 more 4s. Failed that. So 1 is dead and 1's down to 1 wound. Does the Destroyer one come back on 4s because of the Reanimator? Yay, 3 4s.
Do the Outrider Sergeant next. He has 7 attacks hitting on 3s, you're on 1s. Getting 5. Wounding on 5s, you're on 1s. Getting 3 wounds at AP -1.
More 4s. Made 2. I think this is where I spend my command point to try and keep that one alive. Nope, he's dead. Does that come back? No, so that one is dead.
Next we've got the Lieutenant. He's got 5 attacks on 2s. They all hit. Wounding on 4s. 3 wounds.
This is 6s. Yeah, he does 4 damage and kills 1, which might reanimate. It does not. Nearly.
Now we've got the Captain. 6 attacks hitting on 2s. 5 hits. And 4s. 2 wounds.
6s. No 6s. So that is the end of the Destroyers.
I'll do the Canoness. 4 attacks on 2s, you're on 1s. They all hit. 3s. 1. I'll do the big unit of assault intercessors. 21 attacks on 3s or on 1s. We're on 1s. 13 hits on 4s. They aren't in range of the lieutenant, unfortunately. 6 wounds.
So 5+ saves. Oh, only 1. So they're actually dead, because we're only 5 left. Well, I have my Scarab bases left. It'll attack the Battle Sisters. 4 attacks on 4s, 6s automatically wound. 3 hits, which wound on 4s. They're not within range of character, so no wounds.
Battle Sisters fighting back. Hitting on 4s, rolling 1s. 5 hits. Wounding on 4s. 1.
6 to save. No, and 2 wounds. But that will be the end of Imperial turn 4, so on to Necron's turn 4. In the command phase, nothing's in range for my will be done, or for the Technomancer to reanimate anything, so the Scarab base regains a wound, and otherwise we're on to movement. So movement down here, the Triarch Stalker has moved its full 10 inches forwards over there, because that's pretty much the only place it's going to be able to get into the building, and it's a pretty big model, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. The Overlord has moved across, as has the Technomancer. The Scarab base that was fighting those sisters in the corner has flown all the way down here, so the Technomancer can fix it at the end of the movement phase. The Immortals have come down off their box, and the Royal Warden has moved over, and the Reanimator has moved around the corner as well, so that everyone's in the same place, so they can all benefit from command protocols and all that kind of thing. The one exception being the other Scarab unit, which is going to go over here and probably try and attack those Seraphim. So at the end of the movement phase, the Technomancer will fix that Scarab base. I'm going to start shooting with the Technomancer, who's going to fire at the Outrider Sergeant, who's on 1 wound. So he has 3 shots, which hit on 3s.
4s.
Oh, 4s, because the dense cover, so unfortunately that's only 1 hit. Wounds on a 4. Nope. The Reanimator is going to shoot the Sergeant as well. 6 shots hitting on 5s because of the dense cover. We've got 2. 2 hits wounding on 3s, so it's 6. No. The Triarch Stalker is going to shoot at the Archoflagellants. 6 shots hitting on 4s. Same reason. Oh, there's only 2. Yeah, wounding on 3s. Just the 1. Yeah, no save, D3 damage. 3.
5s to ignore. No, it doesn't ignore any.
He goes 1 though. The Royal Warden is actually just within 15 inches of them, so he'll shoot at them as well. 4 shots on 4s, re-rolling 1s, because it's Triarch Stalker. Oh, well, that's better. 3 hits, wounding on 3s. 2 wounds.
First one, ignoring. Doesn't ignore any. And then we've got the Endurant. Come on, ignore 1? No. So they're gone.
Last up, we have the Immortals. They will try and shoot at the Outrider Sergeant again, I think. 4 shots on 4s. 3 hits, wounding on 4s. 2 wounds, -2.
4+ armour. Failed both.
Let's clear a few out. On to the charge phase, where the Necron Overlord will start off by charging the unit of 5 Assault Intercessor Squad. He rolls a 4. The Overlord finishes there. The Triarch Stalker is going to charge both units of Assault Intercessors. Its roll is 12. Well, that'll be enough at least. The Scarabs here are charging the Seraphim. I didn't roll it, they were right next to them, so they're just going to go there. And finally, the Countech Reanimator will charge the 5-man unit of Assault Intercessors as well. Not to do damage, because I want to get them near the Immortals for reanimations next turn, hopefully. Charge roll is a 5. Yeah, end of the charge phase. The Captain's going to hopefully intervene into the Triarch Stalker. But I'll fight first with the Overlord.
I'll spend my command point to use Transhuman Physiology on that unit of Assault Intercessors.
And then 4 attacks hitting on 3s. 3 hits, only winning on 4s because of that. Just the 1 therefore. The Overlord just consolidate, and then the Reanimator has piled in a little bit to get itself near the Immortals. Reanimator has 4 attacks hitting on 4s. Gets 2, which wound on 4s because of Transhuman. Doesn't matter about the strength, so nothing. Triarch Stalker will attack the other 2 Assault Intercessors because it's going to have the same problem trying to wound the other ones. So 3 attacks on 3s. Only hit once, wounds on 3. Yeah, that's a wound.
5+ armour. No.
So 3 damage, but there's a guy on 1 wound.
I get squished.
Finally, the Scarabs over here, they don't need to pile in. 12 attacks hitting on 4s, 6 automatically wound. 2 automatic wounds and 6 normal hits, which wound on 4s. Another 3, so 5 wounds total.
I'll use a Miracle Dice, make one of these saves, and then there's 4 3+. Failed 1, 1 dead Seraphim.
And I won't actually pile in because they're currently unengaged, and I won't give them 3 attacks back, I suppose.
So I'll do the 4-man unit of Assault Intercessors. I think they can all get in range to fight the Overlord. So 17 attacks hitting on 3s and on 1s because of the Captain. 1s. 13 hits, wounding on 5s. Looks like they're outside of 6. 2 wounds.
2 4+ armor saves. They both.
And we've got 6 attacks from the Captain on the Triarch Stalker. On 2s. They all hit. So wounding on 5s. 5 wounds.
So 5+ invulnerable saves. That'll make 3, so it takes 4 damage. That's all the fighting, but the Assault Intercessor Sergeant and the Seraphim were no longer within an inch, so they don't get to fight. So that brings us on to Imperial turn 5. My final command protocol is Protocol of the Undying Legions, and I'll pick the directive which is +1 to living metal, so that everything heal 2 wounds.
And the Miracle Dice is a 3. The Assault Intercessor squad is going to fall back from that melee. There's no point giving the Necrons a free round of melee. This guy's going to stay where he is. I can't really think of anywhere better for him to go. Battle Sisters are going to form a line. Lieutenants come over here to fight these Scarabs. Seraphim as well, moving to be able to shoot the Scarabs. And then the Canoness has moved around as well. And the Captain's going to stay in contact with the Trarch Stalker so that it can't charge next turn. We'll do the Battle Sisters. We'll put everything into the Technomancer. He needs to die.
Yeah, he's just out 3 inches of both the Trarch Stalker and the Reanimator, unfortunately.
Do the Flamer D6 automatic hits for 2, wounding on 3s. No. 4 bolter shots and 4 storm bolter shots. These hit on 3s, rolling 1s. Roll the storm bolter, that's important. I'm going to use a faith dice for one of the storm bolter wound rolls because it's 2 damage. And these wound on 4s, getting 2 more. And then the regular bolters get 3 wounds as well.
One of which is an AP extra AP because it's dying.
Yeah.
3 storm bolter wounds at a 4+. So I've made them all. 1 AP -1 on a bolt gun because of Divine Guidance. Failed, so that's 1 wound. And 2 regular saves from bolt guns. Make both, so he takes 1 damage.
I'll do the Lieutenant. He can shoot at the Technomancer as well. 2 shots on 2s. 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. 6s do a mortal wound in addition. No wounds. I'll do the Seraphim next. They're going to shoot at this small unit of Scarabs. I think I will supercharge the plasma. So 1 plasma and 2 bolt pistols, hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. Of course, the plasma overheats, re-rolling it into a hit. Few black dice wounds on a 2, otherwise it's a 3.
2 bolt gun wounds, 6s. Nope, 2 damage.
The lone Intercessor Sergeant will fire his heavy bolt pistol at the Scarabs, hitting on a 3 and hits. Wounds on a 3, rolling 1s. Wounds.
No save. That's 1.
And then the Canoness will try and finish it off, not supercharging with her plasma pistol. She hits. Wounds on a 2. Doesn't wound. Finally, the Captain's going to put a plasma pistol shot into the Trarch Stalker. Hitting on a 2, he does, not supercharging. 4 wounds.
5+ invulnerable. Nope, takes a damage down to 7.
Yeah, in the charge phase, the Canoness and the Lieutenant will charge the Scarabs.
Yeah, both only needed 2. They only want to stand there.
I'll do the Lieutenant's charge first, so 5 attacks, hitting on 2s, getting 3 hits, and 3s, getting 2, so it's going to kill a base.
Yeah, I'll kill the one that was close to them because that way the Canoness has to leave the ruin to fight the other ones, which she probably won't want to do. So the Canoness is not going to move out of the ruin to fight the Scarabs, so the Trarch Stalker gets to go now that the charges are done. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, but yeah, 2 wounds. 2
4+ invulnerable saves. I made 1.
Yeah.
And then the Captain gets to fight back with his 5 attacks, hitting on 2s, getting 4 hits, and wounding on 5s again. Getting 1 this time.
5+. Yes. That's it for fighting. So on to Necron turn 5, the final turn of the game. In the command phase, thanks to the command protocol, the Technomancer heals, but the Scarab base is back up to 3 wounds and the Trarch Stalker is back up to 9. I gain a command point, and we will use the Reanimation Beam on the Immortals. Then we'll use the Resurrection Orb on them from the Necron Overlord. The 3 are missing, coming back on 4s. Oh, they will come back. So they come back like this, stretching the 2-inch coherency to the limit. We can actually get one into the ruin. The Technomancer doesn't need to reanimate anybody, but then mine will be done. We'll also go on the Immortals. Up at the top, all of my remaining Scarabs have gone over to this corner, and the Technomancer has gone over to fix that base that was on 3 wounds. And down here, the Trarch Stalker will stay in melee, because it's already in the ruins. The Immortals have moved mostly underneath it, so getting 4 models into the objective. The Overlord will stay where he is, so he can charge. In fact, he might as well move into the ruin, I suppose. And the Reanimator and the Royal Warden are stuck outside for the moment. We'll start shooting with the Trarch Stalker, which is a vehicle, so it can shoot at the Captain in melee, with -1 to hit. So 4 shots hitting on 4s. 2 hits wounding on 3s. Just the 1.
4+ invulnerable. Failed. I might as well reroll that. Success.
Okay. Technomancer is going to shoot at the Seraphim. 3 shots on 4s. 3 hits wounding on 3s. 2 wounds.
4+ saves, because we are in cover. Made 1.
The Immortals will all shoot at the Battle Sisters. I use a command point for Relentless Onslaught, so 6s to hit will be an additional hit. We've got 4 inside the ruins, so they're hitting on 2s, thanks to my will be done, and the 1 outside the ruins is hitting on 3s, because of its colour. So I've got a 6 and a miss, so that's 10 hits overall, winning on 3s. It's only 6.
4+ armour for Sisters. 2 dead.
Sorry. The Royal Warden will shoot the big unit of Assault Intercessors. 4 shots on 4s. Oh, just the 1, wounds on 3. Nope. Lastly, the Reanimator will shoot at the 2 remaining Battle Sisters. 6 shots on 5s. Just one hit, wounds on a 2. Yes.
4+ armour? Yes.
Charge phase, the Overlord will just charge into those Assault Intercessors, who presumably will set to defend.
Yep.
The Royal Warden will charge them as well. I usually roll that though. 7 should be good. With the 2 Scarab unit will charge the Seraphim and Battle Sisters. 8. They'll slot in under there. The 1 space unit will charge just the Battle Sisters. No, we'll charge the Seraphim as well, just in case it needs to get within an inch. It needs to roll 3, or 12. The Technomancer will charge just the Battle Sisters. He gets in. That's all my charges. We'll start fighting with the Overlord first, hitting these Assault Intercessors. 4 attacks on 3s. Only hits twice. Wounds on 2s now. Only 1 as usual, so he kills 1. The Royal Warden who's under there will fight them as well. 3 attacks on 3s. 3 hits on 3s to wound, 2 wounds.
2 3+ armour saves. Failed 1.
Do the Reanimator immediately. 4 attacks on 4s. 2 hits, wounding on 3s. 2 wounds, AP minus 2.
5s. Made 1, so Wounded Man dies.
Technomancer does 1 attack on the Battle Sisters. 1 attack on a 3. That's a hit. Wounds on a 4. It was winning on a 3, but yeah, he did wound. AP minus 2.
5+, no.
The two Swarm unit of Scarabs will fight the Seraphim Superior. 8 attacks on 4s. No automatic wounds. Wounding on 4s. Nothing. And the Lone Base will fight her as well, because currently the Battle Sister Superior I think is unengaged, so she won't be able to fight that. 4 attacks on 4s. There we go. 2 hits and an automatic wound this time. Wound on 4s, that's 2 wounds total.
Miracle dice to save 1. 3s? Yes.
That's all my charges, so just the Captain left and then the Triarch Stalker.
5 attacks from the Captain on 2s, getting 3 hits, and 5s, getting 1.
Right, doesn't matter. It's a 5 to save. No, it takes 2 damage, but it's not going to affect the game anymore. 3 attacks back, yeah, because it's still in its highest bracket, so they all hit. 3s, 2 wounds.
4s. No, he's dead. The Assault Intercessors can try and get some vengeance on the Royal Warden, so they were charged, so we've got 9 attacks on 3s, getting 6, wounding on 5s, 10's probably out of range. Yeah, it's 2 wounds, it's not going to matter, you can't kill him.
Yeah, that won't kill him, and then actually the Seraphim Superior does not physically have enough attacks to kill a Scarab base, so it won't change the result. And so the final count, after all that, is that the Imperium have 7 models in the objective zone and the Necrons have 11. So that will be, after all that fighting, a Necron victory. And I guess a victory in the War for Alectia. The Imperium were not able to protect their relics, unfortunately. So that will be the end of that, and we'll recap the game for you now. So that was the game for issue 60 of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine, and the conclusion in the battle for Alectia. We've got quite a lot to talk about in this issue, but first up, how do you think the battle went?
I was a bit disappointed to lose, although I think it was pretty close. My turn 5, I think my luck with shooting ran out, and that sealed the deal. Even just getting all the mortals back with the resurrection all made a big deal right at the end. It was quite annoying at the time to lose because you were able to fit models under the Triarch Stalker, and that's a sort of a quirk because he doesn't have a base, and it's one of the few models that doesn't have a base and he's a walker. But I imagine if my shooting in that turn had been more effective, then that wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah, and I still had the Reanimator outside the ruin anyway, so if the Triarch Stalker hadn't been in there, I would have been able to fit the Reanimator in, so the numbers probably would have been the same. I think I had to kill maybe 6 models and not lose any, which I did manage to do, but if you'd killed more of mine, I wouldn't have been able to do that, so that's what it came down to. Because in the first few turns, my shooting didn't seem to do very much at all. I killed about half a Battle Sister squad and that was it. The dense cover really made a difference shooting at stuff in the ruins, and with transhuman physiology, it got to the point where I just switched targets because I wasn't damaging them. We said in the previous issue that was going to be an effective stratagem, and there's the proof, I suppose.
And so did the Battle Sister stratagem again.
Your shooting, even though it was just Battle Sister with bolt guns and guys with pistols, was actually surprisingly effective. Or also, I suppose, once the Flamers got in range as well.
Yeah, my plan was always to kill off your warriors and immortals, or your 1 wound models, just to reduce your numbers by a lot.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like killing the Penitent Engine without it being able to do anything, and then the aggressors without being able to do anything, felt like successes for me, but on the other hand, I then lost the Destroyers, and...
Yeah, I mean, it looked bad, but then I killed the Destroyers and had all my characters and stuff in the middle, and it looked a lot better. I think I should have charged with the Penitent Engine at something, maybe just try and tie up the Destroyers and hopefully kill 1 or 2 of them, or maybe try to get into the Overlord or something. I think I probably shouldn't have charged the Lieutenant of the Scourers, but then again, there's a good chance he would kill 2 bases. Might have been better to have him in the middle more to support the Assault Intercessors, and possibly to help the Captain try and kill the Triarch Stalker. I was just going to ignore ignore the Shark Stalker for the most part.
Yeah, you had nothing in your army that could really threaten it besides some jammy rolling from the captain, which nearly chopped its leg off, but it did reasonably well, but I don't think it punched above its weight necessarily. You also punished some of my mistakes as well, like not positioning the Technomancer and the Reanimator and the Overlord to maximise my animation potential, for example. Suddenly I found myself with no warriors left and the Technomancer with nothing to reanimate in turn 4, for example. Putting the Immortals on top of the box, I don't really know what I was thinking. They needed to get to the middle and that was just going to slow them down. I have no idea why I did that, but anyway, it looked good. Also, a big mistake I made was re-rolling an armour save or something. It meant I didn't have 2 command points to let the Destroyers interrupt. I think the Archiflagellants went first, killed one, which came back, so they would have all been able to fight back. Probably would have tried to take out maybe the Assault Intercessors and one of the characters. Probably could have managed that with some good rolls, so that would have made a huge difference.
Yeah, and it might have been a bit too aggressive with the Outriders straight off as well.
The Outriders did a fair bit of damage though. Their shooting's quite effective. They have a terrifying number of attacks in melee. I think they were unlucky not to kill too many warriors, but that's because I made more than half of my 5+ saves when they charged. So I think they had some much needed speed to the Space Marine part of the collection as well, because your foot slogging guys have done fairly well, but now we're getting to some bigger boards. 14-inch movement, you can threaten nearly anywhere on the board, and they don't really have any fear charging into warriors or immortals or anything that isn't a dedicated melee unit.
And having fairly decent firepower as well, because we've got Bolter Discipline, 30-inch range as well is actually a pretty significant threat. And Shock Assault as well, also very handy for all those Assault Intercessors.
Yeah, you can see it's actually less effective for the Outriders compared to their inbuilt bonus for getting extra attacks for charging anyway. But yeah, when you have a lot of Assault Intercessors, it'll help the aggressors as well and the characters actually. Yeah. And then they shall know no fear. It's a classic rule. It probably won't come up much in this collection because you rarely have to take morale tests with Space Marines, and even if you do, it's probably because there's only one guy left anyway.
Yeah, most of the time I'll probably go for 5-man units. I mean, it might take a unit of 10 Assault Intercessors or 10 Infiltrators upcoming, but if they're taking massive casualties, then I probably wouldn't be too dismayed because that means that something else hasn't taken massive casualties. I don't think I'd change my army at all. I was tempted to take some AdMech stuff, but I would have rather showed off the Marines, and I think the Marines having more wounds was more important.
The Counterfronts probably could have been some long-range firepower. The difficulty with them is their big bases would make it difficult for you to get them into the ruins. So certainly I think your army was well built for what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it could have gone either way.
And for my army, I mean, I took the majority of the Necron collection. I left 3 characters behind. It was a toss-up between, is the Technomancer going to resurrect more bodies than the Plasmancer will kill? I think probably the Plasmancer might have actually done better, especially because he could have got into the centre and doing mortal wounds out in the fight phase as well. With hindsight, that's easy to say. The Technomancer's also faster, so it's 2 ways of looking at it, really. And then it was just things like the flayed ones and the under-strength wraiths and tomb blades that I was leaving behind, and the spider. Oh, and it was nice, I suppose, to have such a large board as well. It's the first time we've had a board of that size. It definitely does look impressive to get all the stuff on there. There isn't actually that much terrain with the collection when you put it on that much board. It felt a bit sparse.
There isn't much more to... There's only one Hematrope reactor still to come.
And I suppose we can talk about the collection as well that we had a look at the beginning of the video. It has really started to shape out quite well, I think, but in different ways for both sides. Because the Imperial side, obviously, we've just basically got a whole new faction.
Well, it is essentially the Battle Sister Start Collecting box minus the Rhino. Another decent starting point. I don't think there's any sort of weird redundancy like the Tech Priest engines here. Kind of doesn't really fit with the AdMech collection we have.
Yeah, I think it had actually a better starting off than that. Whereas for the Necrons, it's been only about 10 models, but most of them have been powerful. There's been some characters, 2 Wraiths and another Tomb Blade.
The Reanimator, Shark Stalker. Yeah, and there isn't actually that much more Necron stuff to come. I think there's only about 4 more issues with it.
Yeah, it's actually nearly all of the Necron stuff, yeah. But anyway, I think that's it for this video, for the game and our look at the collection. So let us know what you thought. If you've played the game, let us know how you did. Let us know your thoughts on the collection so far as well. If you did enjoy the video, then do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye for now.